Well, here we go. Starting the recording. We didn't do a really good job conveying thoughts the last go round, so figured we run through it a little bit. We were coming out of some pretty great times as a community, from COVID or otherwise. And so, we had a car, grayscale. You see there's kind of gray everywhere and cracks in this picture. So, we start with that, being a preliminary concept. Obviously, Shelby has a snake as a logo. And you got a gray / dark side kind of populating here. But the idea was to try to bring a bit of light into people's lives and fun and sun. This whole project ended up being a really fun and fascinating one because it started out with just an idea and a simple one. But it's when you start to communicate and convey with others more openly that you find just how cool and fun and explorative ideas can be. And that's not just pertaining to a car. Some people will view it as flashy and some as classy, and that's just people's perspectives, right? And that's actually been a good thing because it's allowed us to rethink and refocus on kind of how people and things interact and how to better convey messages than we maybe had before. So it kind of put us almost into the dark despite trying to show some light and some life, as it wasn't something that we were maybe ready to convey in a beneficial way. So, from there, we can open up a few more of these guys here. I'm pretty amateur hour as it pertains to Zooms. So let me get us back into there, back into a screen share and sharing that again, right? So, this was done around the time intentionally here of the, kind of winter solstice, to bring some light into a time when it was getting more dark. We got little plays in there with Nala there with Taigi, and then, driving in the rainy and bad conditions over to Metro Reps, where they took the car and then worked their magic with it, being Premier and amazing people. I was lucky to be able to have a chance to meet them, so. And then we got shifting over here now to the third one. That was kind of the mock-ups. We started to try to look to see how it worked. I'd spoken to Boy Kong and Avi about some ideas around and just to see kind of what we could come up with and dream up with. And it was amazing to see, what they thought of and how to play it. And, a lot of the stuff comes in from friends and family and fun. And that's kind of what the whole intent is and was and should be, is how do we have more fun? How do we engage with one another? And it's a we thing and it's not a me thing. And, that perception of a me is normally reflective of self. What one may see is not necessarily what is the reality, right? So, you can already see again, the makings are in it already for transitions, and the intent was and still is to transition this guy from something that, was a one-dimensional, rap, and how do we reimagine how people are thinking and attributing meaning into and with raps. There's a lot of flash, but how do you make it to show that there's some belief or thought or community purpose or premise on it, right? And we view it as a vehicle for change and choice. Those are all effectively the same common principles, right? And those are our freedoms, right? Or so we'd like to believe, right? So again, we're bouncing around in this amateur hour style, but as we went here and we got it wrapped, I mean, the stuff that happened was pretty cool and magical. We have this bright, fun, flashy yellow thing, and the inside everything is dark, and we don't know how it is or what's going on in anybody's life or what the situation is. But relatively, I got one kid was at the time really struggling, and we were also amazing kid, but at the same time, it was tricky, and he loved Nightmare Before Christmas. So, his attributes were kind of shining through on the back end and also on the inside. And, we kind of had that snaking darker mentality and highlights in there, and it really makes it pop that contrasted the light and the dark. So it furthered premises. But, we met Jose Mertz and then Bruno, and Mertz had a cool influence and helped Boy Kong get started on Tigers. And he's the one who did all the stuff with the lion, right? So, it still always comes back to friends and family. And, we've been around and traveled and seen and dealt with all sorts of people, you name it. And it was just amazing to see again how everyone was thinking and reacted and their own takes on it. And it wasn't my take, it was all the little attributes that were, kind of imbued it within the project, right? And Avi, who helps and works with Boy Kong, he had the idea of putting the "You Are My Sunshine" in the back door so that the kids could see it. So we had him write it down, and he left his mark, and obviously Boy Kong's got his in there, and we've got, premises that play from our time in Africa and previous experiences, and, births of children and rebirths, and a lot of other fun premises. The lions are dark, even if they're on the light, and that makes them stand out. It's that nothing's quite as you see it. And then you get these little color pops in there for the eyes that Boy Kong threw in there, which are these aberrations that you see in nature with different creatures. So got a nervous dog here. So here you can see, it says "You Are My Sunshine," right? In the front, you got a leaping lion. It's bold, it's aggressive, it's fun, but every time they open the door at school, they would see that there was meaning, that there was a care, there was a thought, there was an attribution, and we're lucky enough to be able to do some of these things. But so many people on the street or otherwise, give thumbs up or thumbs, so you see them smile, and this happens a lot. Yeah, our backyard's a little bit more decorative than it was these days. I sit here and it's like, again, the art is the start. It's one of the things that, we think is that we see that this picture reminded Erica, when it's the first picture we got together, was of her grandma, who was very artful and designful and color pops. And, there's these imbued meanings, you see these colors in there take place within even the eyes, so all this stuff kind of shows up. The side leading sun lions are looking back, they're not just looking forward. The snakes are there, they're just in the wheels, they're still turning, they're still there, as is the Never Before Christmas. Like, these are just little things, and you can attribute it and see it however you wish. And that's the fun part about it, is that it's kind of our and a community thing. So it's not just me, right? So we got, again, here, sharing the screen again, we've got, again, see the eyes, see the colors, see the differentiation, right? We've got the side leading sunlight. He's there, he's looking back, he's not this big, giant, massive creature. You can even see his bones to a degree, she's having fun and was having fun with all this, that's kind of the company's kind of badge and kind of motto. It's this, playful thing. We're in the back, we're not the front. We're just part of this ride. So, when the world can light up when you open the doors and you can see this, and it shines right on the lion and then right on her, and then you start to get family and friends involved with the concepts and the ideas, and they're supportive, just makes everything better. And that's not saying there's not a good, bad, or otherwise. It's just relatively better than maybe the ho-hum from before. I hadn't intended to do this one today, but why not run with it while we can? So I didn't do a good job conveying it before. I can acknowledge that. I can do things better. So here we are trying to do better. Doesn't mean it is or will be, and people can have their interpretation of it, those closest to you or furthest away, but this can set us all up, for ways to do better by each other. So what we did was try, again, use this as a vehicle for change and for betterment of community. And so, I got a bit turned off, not knowing how to handle or interact with people as to who did or didn't want to add value, and was a bit untrusting as to some stuff. And, there probably was a lot of good interest out there that I didn't properly consider, and I didn't ask why. And so I discounted self and others, even though I was trying to benefit self and others. So, in this picture, you see, we went to Target and we did a run, and my mom bought stuff and I bought the exact same thing, and we did a matching. So it was kind of a fun, playful way to do it. And then I found out with us there that it was an issue in regards to the dog shaking a bit, but this happens. We're here to comfort him too. So we went and we then found out that there's these big gaps in regards to charity, right? Like, in the way that it's done, the way it's perceived, and that's led us into many other journeys from there around that topic. But the back up the truck thing, that we do it with the pantry, which is to help, the older folks who have less means, who may have, kids they look after, with the direct benefit, giving that attention. I don't like the pay attention thing, and I don't think we should. It's giving attention, it's that time, that energy, that self, that makes the difference. And so, we went and had a little fun with that. And, we had just kind of moved houses and had changes you can kind of see in there. But we were doing these kind of 1-for-1 matches, and it was fun. And again, this is all around the Christmas time, and people couldn't take delivery of the toys because the cutoff was too damned early in the month. And I'm doing all my Christmas shopping at the end of the month. Normally, how am I supposed to give things away? So we found we found one church that was willing to take it, this far in advance, this week out from Christmas. But if we in the community could organize a bit better, we could do better and organize better versus just relying on a few structures or systems, and just some really big holes that we can work on to make better. It's not that it's wrong in the current situations, it's that it can be better. That's for one and for all here on that one, if you want to go Three Musketeers style. So again, this is kind of plays on it, Moonlight, here we have it. This is, kind of origins and means and deviations in front of kind of invasive species brewing. It's like, I loved it, but I don't know if that was necessarily the best or most natural thing, but you can really kind of see how the thing can and would and shall change into something different, into a reconceptualization. The idea, is a start, and then, you have reimaginations of imagination, and those are just imagination. So that idea is constantly morphing, just as we are an idea of ourselves, effectively. It's the same change, that's our choice here. So, again, you see, it's fun, it's funky, it's creative, and it was a blast to deal with people. It was with people that made this project fun. Maybe I didn't get everyone involved I should have. And that's, again, me, figuring out how to better manage my own relationships, and realizing that how people can switch each other off and on, even those most close to you, right? And so, from there, during the whole time, we had people, good friends who helped us do turkey deliveries and lifts, during Thanksgiving. And, we had it so that when one piece of art was bought with another friend, that, we matched what he was going to purchase, because we all wanted to have some charitable cause behind it. But it's all this: take the time, give the attention. It's taking of your own time, not other people's time. Take your own time, give attention, and you can make it a better situation. We can. It's not a me thing, it's a we thing. And, this perspective is something that we've been working on for a long time, and it's with everyone. It's every interaction, it's everything, and it's a lot of fun. So, we've seen the near worst of darknesses. We've felt it. We can imagine it. We can do that with everyone. And so, yeah, we sit here upon an inspiration for once my wife's family, Neiman, yeah, he's a playboy, but we need to all play a bit more, have a bit more fun. I think, we put this play bill over play ball, and I think we can get back to a little bit more fun together here. So that's what we'll be seeking out to do, as we go. So we'll stop the video here to restart something else. It's just a pause and pause for thought, but we'll run with it as the storm rages on.